Hello, good day viewers. Welcome to another biology presentation. This is your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. So in this presentation, we are going to look at how we can identify parts of the digestive system and state their functions as well. So here we have our first question. Label the different parts of the digestive system. So here we are presented with the digestive system, comprising of different parts of the digestive system and its associated organs. So first of all, we must know that the digestive system is also known as the gastrointestinal tract or the alimentary canal. Okay, so this system, it just consists of very complex groups of organs that work together to break down food into nutrients that the body can absorb and use for energy, growth, and cell repair. Apart from that, the system also helps the body to eliminate the waste products. Okay, so here we know that the digestive system is made up of two main parts. We have the gastrointestinal tract, which is a long muscular tube that starts at the mouth, as you can see right here. Starts from the mouth and ends at the what? At the anus. It also includes the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, and the rectum, of which we are going to identify these parts. Then the digestive system also consists of the accessory organs. So these are organs that help with digestion, but they are not part of the gastrointestinal tracts. Okay, they include, we have the salivary glands, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. So let us try to identify these parts of the digestive system. So we have one way. So one, we have the salivary glands right here. Then two, we also have the esophagus. Then three, as you can see, we have the stomach right here. Then four, we have the pancreas. Then five, we have the small intestines. Then six, we have the what? The rectum. So this is the rectum right here. Then seven, we have the anus. Then we come to eight. Eight, we have the mouth. Then this one, which is inside right here, this is the tongue. Okay. Then 9, we have the liver. And 10, we have the gallbladder. And 11, we have the large intestine right here, as you can see. Then 12, we have the appendix. So these are different parts of the digestive system. So you must make sure that you are able to identify these parts of the digestive system, and you are also able to state their functions, because in an exam they can ask you to state their functions. So we can now proceed. We look at the functions. So here we are going to look at the functions of the alimentary canal, of which we are going to start with the mouth. So first of all, like I've said, you know that the alimentary canal is just a tube within the body through which food passes and is digested, extending from the mouth and going to the what? The anus. So we have the mouth. So as we all know, what is the function of the mouth? Okay, so we know that in the mouth, that's where first we put food. Okay, then physical digestion will take place in the mouth. Then apart from that, you find that we have different types of digestion. We have physical digestion. We also have chemical digestion. So that is very, very important for you to know. Okay. All right. So here, let us now look at the major functions of the mouth. So the alimentary canal begins where? In the mouth. Okay. So the mouth has teeth inside that chew and grind the food. And this process is what we call mastification. So mastification is just the chewing and grinding of what? Of food. And this process involves physical digestion. Then in the mouth, we have the salivary glands that are in the mouth, and they secrete salivary amylase. Then the salivary amylase starts the digestion of cooked food. Then saliva is a digestive juice. It is slightly alkaline, and the pH of the mouth is between 6.2 and 7.4. So this is very important for you to know concerning the what? The mouth. Okay, so we are done now looking at the mouth. we can now move on to another part of the digestive system where we're going to look at the throat. So okay, so the throat, this is it connects the mouth to the respiratory tract towards the front and the digestive tract towards the what? The back. So therefore we can say that the throat, it is the passage, or it is the passageway for both food and what? Air. Then the pharynx facilitates the swallowing of what? Of food. That is the major function of the what? Of the throat. It connects the mouth to the respiratory tract towards the front and the digestive tract towards the what? The back. It is the passageway for both food and the air. Okay, so very important for you to understand these functions. So we now move on. We go to another part of the digestive system, which is the esophagus. So the esophagus is just a muscular tube that connects the pharynx to the stomach. So food is carried down the esophagus through the wave-like muscle movement called the peristalsis. Okay, so peristalsis, we are looking at the movement of food, or the movement of the bolus. Okay, it moves in a wave-like muscle movement. In there we have the circular and the longitudinal muscles, and these, when food is moving, the other muscle will be contracting, the other one will be relaxing. So these muscles, they work in antagonistic. Then in the esophagus there is a sphincter muscular ring that controls the passage of food into the stomach by closing when it contracts and opening when it what? It relaxes. So here we have said the esophagus is a muscular tube that connects the pharynx to the stomach. So food is carried down the esophagus through the wave-like muscle movement called the peristalsis. Okay, so there is a sphincter muscular ring that controls the passage of food into the stomach by closing when it contracts and opening when it relaxes. So this information is very, very important for you to take note of. Okay, very, very important. So when we look at peristalsis, we take a look at this diagram right here. So you can see we have the bolus of food here. Okay, the bolus of food as it is moving. Okay, because we have said peristalsis is just an involuntary wave-like muscle contractions that involves this bolus, or the movement of food through the digestive what? Tract. So this now begins in the throat when you swallow food. Okay, and when you swallow food, this bolus, or this food, to continue moving through the esophagus to go through the stomach and the intestine. Wow, it's going to digest. Okay, so here we are saying we have the wave-like contraction. So the muscular muscles in your digestive tract, they are going to contract and relax in a wave-like motion, as you can see when it's moving, to continue moving until it goes into the what? The stomach. Okay, so this is the function of the esophagus, where we even have the process called the peristalsis taking place. All right, so we now move on. Okay, we move away from the esophagus. We now come to the stomach. Okay, so the stomach, as we all know that the stomach is a muscular sac-like organ. Then the stomach is the one that is able to store food temporarily, and then churning the swallowed food, mixing it with what? The digestive enzymes. Okay, so in the stomach there, once we eat food, it goes there in the stomach, and that is where chemical digestion is going to take place, where the enzymes now are going to produce the chemicals that you work on the food and digest it further. Okay, then the food, once it's been digested, is going to be absorbed. Okay, so there we are saying in the stomach, that's where chemical digestion begins. Okay, there is digestion of the proteins by the enzymes and the acids. Then in the stomach there, like I said, it has the sphincter, which controls the passage of the chyme into the small intestine. So here we have said the stomach is the muscular sac-like organ. The stomach stores food temporarily, canning the swallowed food, mixing it with digestive enzymes. And in the stomach, that's where chemical digestion of proteins by enzymes and acids begins. Then the stomach has a sphincter, which controls the passage of chyme into the small intestines. So we now move on. We look at another part of the digestive system, which is the small intestine. So the small intestine now is just a coiled muscular tube that connects the stomach to the large intestine. So in the small intestine, you find that it consists of three main parts, and these are the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. The duodenum is the first part of the small intestine, where semi-liquid food is mixed with pancreatic juice and bile. Then the jejunum is the middle part of the small intestines, where digestion and absorption of the nutrients takes place. So this is very important. You must know where digestion and absorption of the nutrient takes place in the small intestine. It takes place in the jejunum. Then in the small intestine, we also have the ileum, which is the longest and the last part of the small intestines. So this is where now most of the absorption of the nutrient occurs. Then the food that is undigested, it passes on here and it goes to the large intestines. Okay, so I hope it's clear. So we now come to the large intestines. So the large intestine it starts as the end of the small intestine and ends in the rectum. So the end of the alimentary canal is the anus, where we have the caecum, which is the blind ending sac to which the appendix is attached, like I showed you on the diagram. Then the appendix plays a role in fighting infections. Okay, then there in the large intestine you also have the colon, which is where water, salts, and some vitamins are reabsorbed from the food that remains, and the indigested material is stored until it is passed on to the rectum. Then in the rectum there, you find that this rectum will serve as a temporary storage of undigested waste matter. Then the feces until it can be eliminated through the anus. So the feces, they will just be in the rectum for temporary, okay, until they are being eliminated through the anus. Then the anus is the opening from which the feces are eliminated from the body. So it is controlled by the anal sphincter. So I hope this information is very clear. We now move on. We look at the organs that are associated with the alimentary canal. So some of the organs that are associated with the alimentary canal, we are going to start with the saliva glands. Okay, so the salivary glands, we are saying we have three pairs of the salivary glands that secrete saliva into the mouth through the saliva ducts. Okay, then the saliva consists of water, enzymes, bicarbonate ions, and the mucus. Bicarbonate ions creates an alkaline environment for the reaction, for the enzymes to react on, or for the enzymes to be able to function. Then the mucus, it just helps the bolus to travel smoothly down the esophagus. So that bolus of food that was moving through the esophagus, it passes through the mucus, and this mucus just helps to lubricate, okay, part of the esophagus when this food is passing through. Okay, so we now move on to another part. We look at the pancreas, which is another associated organ of the alimentary canal. So the pancreas is secretes pancreatic juice into the duodenum through the pancreatic duct. Okay, then the pancreatic juice contains digestive enzymes, and it is alkaline to neutralize the acidic chyme that comes from the stomach. Then it also secretes the hormone insulin and the glucagon. So these two hormones that are secreted by the pancreas, they are being secreted into the bloodstream in order to regulate the blood glucose levels. Okay, very important for you to understand these concepts. So we now look at another organ that is associated with the alimentary canal, which is the liver. So the liver is the largest organ in the body. It just secretes alkaline bile, which neutralizes the chyme and emulsifies the fats. That is the function of the liver. So as we go on, we are going to dig more on the functions of the liver, where I'll give you numerous functions. Then we move on. We look at another organ, which is the gallbladder. So the gallbladder, this is the small muscular sac which stores excess bile from the liver and release this bile into the small intestines through the bile duct when required. Okay, so we have said the gallbladder, this is the small muscular sac which stores excess bile from the liver and releases it into the small intestines through the bile duct when required. So we are done looking at these organs that are associated with the alimentary canal and their functions, and we have also looked at some of the parts of the digestive systems and their major functions. So we've now come to the end of our session. So remember, per tradition, this is the task. The question reads, identify the main regions of the alimentary canal and the associated organs. So we are just supposed to identify the main regions of the alimentary canal and the associated organs. So thank you so much, everybody. Once again, we've come to the end of our presentation. This has been your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. Bye-bye.